English muffins and topping it with my avocado hollandaise. But before I get ahead of myself, I have to make the English muffins. And the dough for English muffins is very much like making a traditional bread dough. First, I have to make the starter. So what I've done is measure 2 2/3 cups of bread flour into my bowl. I'll add to that 2 cups of lukewarm water. And as well, I measure in 1 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast. And then just a little bit of honey, a teaspoon. I give this a quick stir. The starter itself is really quite soft. What you want to do is make sure your bowl is big enough because this is gonna grow. You need to leave this on the kitchen counter for a minimum of 12 hours, but really I prefer up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it really does transform, and this is what you're left with. This beautiful, sloppy mess that is going to add so much in flavor and texture to your English muffins. But before I use that, I'll start with the base of the dough itself. This time I need 4 cups of bread flour. And there's an easy but fun little technique that you do with English muffin dough. Add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter to that 4 cups of bread flour. And then with a pastry cutter, you could even use your hands, just gently work it in. It adds a little crumbly texture, and I find it really makes the difference between an English muffin that kind of has all the nooks and crannies and one that doesn't. There we go. It's all worked in. I can't even see the butter in there. Now for more liquid, I need 1 1/4 cups of water now. I also need 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of my starter. But by weight, what I need is 300 grams. Now I need a little more yeast, 2 1/4 teaspoons. Kind of like the crumpets, you really want to coax the most volume and air in your English muffins. That way they're easy to split in half for toasting and slathering with jam. Tablespoon of sugar, and lastly, a tablespoon of salt. I'll put this on my stand mixer fitted with the dough hook, and I'll let the mixer do its magic for about 5 minutes. First on low speed, then I'll increase it 1 speed, and I'll wait until the dough is smooth and elastic. There we go. My dough is nice and smooth and elastic. It's very springy, I can feel it. Now it's ready to transfer to another bowl. I like this dough because it's easy to handle. It's not overly sticky, but it is nice and soft. There we go. I'll cover the bowl with plastic. And just like the starter, I set it aside on the kitchen counter, and it only takes an hour to rise up now. And look how it grows after an hour. Isn't that amazing? I love making bread dough. And there is something satisfying about making English muffins or any bread dough in the morning. It's just one of those fulfilling activities. Puts you in a good mood for the rest of the day. There, you knock it out as you tip it out onto a work surface, because now it's time to shape those English muffins. I've got 2 baking trays lined with parchment and a 3.5-inch cookie cutter. I will flour the dough, top and bottom. And you don't roll this out as thin as you would a pizza dough or a pie dough. So just over 1/2 inch thick. You will find, though, that you have to re-roll the dough to get your final few muffins. One of the things I love about English muffins is that little bit of cornmeal that's on the outside. So just sprinkle a bit on your baking tray before you line up those English muffins. Now, before I set these aside to proof, I sprinkle the tops too with a little cornmeal. And I cover the trays with a tea towel and let them sit just for 20 minutes. And here's what they look like after 20 minutes. So these are ready for the griddle. So to griddle your English muffins, use a griddle pan, and you want to heat it on medium-high. I just give it a light greasing, not a heavy one. And you want to leave space in between the English muffins. So I think 4 will fit on this pan. And doing the English muffins in batches is absolutely fine. I cook these just for 2 minutes on each side. It's really to set that crust and that beautiful brown color. But the English muffins won't be fully cooked. And this griddling step creates a crust on the outside, but it also creates that separation because an English muffin doesn't work unless you can split it in half. That way you can toast it and slather it with the butter and jam. Or, of course, top it with a poached egg and some hollandaise. I'll just keep going until all 16 are done. There we go. All my English muffins are griddled. Now they're ready for that 10 minutes in a 400-degree oven to fully cook them on the inside. Then they'll be ready to split, and you know what time it is. It's time for Eggs Benedict. And I have a fantastic Avocado Hollandaise to put on top of them. Eggs Benedict is that magic combination of English muffin, eggs, and Hollandaise sauce. But really, it's all about the English muffin. And look at these, out of the oven and cooled, they are just ready to go. Of course, I like them toasted. When you make them fresh like this, you don't have to toast them. But of course, they keep for a couple of days, and you just split them with a fork and pop them in the toaster or in the oven. Now look at that. Oh, that's what we want. All that texture inside the English muffin. So when you toast it, it just catches all that goodness. In this case, it's an avocado hollandaise along with the poached egg. I'm gonna pop this in the oven to toast while I get my other components ready. All right, while my English muffin toasts, I can make my hollandaise. Now, for my avocado hollandaise, I start with an avocado. But unlike the original hollandaise, which involves cooking egg yolk, whisking in melted butter, and holding it at a specific temperature, this is far simpler. All the ingredients go in the blender. I have a ripe avocado that I'll just spoon into a blender. I love avocado for breakfast, and it pairs so wonderfully with egg, and it's because of that natural creaminess. And to add a little acidity, I'm using lime juice. I'm also adding half a cup of Greek yogurt. It helps this sauce keep its nice rich consistency. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of water, but I'm holding a 1/4 cup in reserve. It really depends on the ripeness and consistency of your avocado if you have to add any extra. So I'm gonna add a pinch of sea salt right now and a little pepper. All right. Now I'll puree this until it's smooth, and then I'll drizzle in a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Oh, beautifully creamy and rich, and basically the exact consistency of the original hollandaise sauce. I'll set this aside, and now I can move on to poaching eggs. So first thing I do is fill a shallow pan with water. It's about halfway filled. Now the temperature of the water is critically important. I've got steam. I can see bubbles at the bottom of the pot. What's important is those bubbles don't rise up and break the surface, because that means your water's too hot and it's just going to break apart your egg. The next thing you do is add white vinegar to your water. I add about a tablespoon to make your eggs easier to drop into the pan. I crack it into a little bowl first. I grab a slotted spoon. You want to create a gentle whirlpool. So when you drop your egg towards the center, that motion spins the egg into that oval shape. A soft to medium poached egg takes between 2 and 4 minutes. My eggs are ready, so I'll go grab my English muffin. Beautiful. You know, I love a savory breakfast as much as I do a sweet one. Put my warm English muffins on my plate, and I'm going to top mine with tomato. Keep things nice and light. And now I'll bring this right over to my pot. Let the excess water drain off. Slide that right on top of the tomato. The warm egg will soften the tomato just right. You could even put some cheese on there. And just like the traditional style of Eggs Benedict, you spoon the hollandaise on top. Gotta love that creamy avocado. A sprinkling of fresh chives, and there it is, a colorful and tasty morning treat. Oh, I love Eggs Benedict, especially this style. And really, it's all about that English muffin. perfect doneness for me. I like my white set, but the yolk nice and soft. Oh, it's just so good. It's not hard at all.